you check the children? Show a little match
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Sometimes that is better.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Horror Show. I'm Cecil, Laird.
I'm Marshberger.
And Jaime Fuego here.
And we are here to do a brand new horror movie review for you guys. That's right. There's going to be a lot of new horror movie reviews coming in the coming months because
So much.
we're basically getting 2 years worth of horror movie releases all in the span of like 6 months. Because so much was delayed over the last year and a half, and there are the movies that were due to come out during this time anyway. So today we are here to talk about the Forever Purge, which is, if I'm not mistaken, the 5th movie in the franchise, correct?
I believe you're right.
Excluding the television series,
Yes.
yes, because
Yeah.
the last one was the first Purge, and that was the prequel, so yes, correct.
Yeah. So, yes, we are here to go through our review like we normally do. We'll do our overall thoughts, then we'll do the story, the acting, the filmmaking itself, as well as the effects, all of that good stuff in turn. And I'm going to go ahead and start off and say that I enjoyed the movie. All of these movies I've pretty much enjoyed, and what I've found is basically every new one I've gone to, I've enjoyed a little bit more than the last one. I don't know that I can say that for this one. I'd say it's at least as solid as one or two of the earlier entries. I don't necessarily like it as much as Election Year or the first... I can't remember what I thought of the first Purge, to be honest with you.
That was
You
the
really
home
liked
invasion
it.
I
one.
did really like it? Okay.
Yeah, and that was
Not
the
the
home
fir-
invasion one with Ethan Hawke.
No,
the
the
first
first Purge.
Oh, the
This is
first Purge.
This is what everyone's
And-
going to run into
Yeah,
reviewing these
and we
fucking
had
movies.
the same thing on Show Business the other night where
No,
Chauncey was like,
the
I love
first
the
Purge.
first
I will say the original Purge when I mean
Yeah.
the original
Okay,
Purge.
okay, sorry.
I thought I liked it too. I thought I remembered saying every movie has gotten better.
Yeah.
This one, they just did a different thing, right? So the first one was the single home invasion. The second one was more of what everyone wanted to see, a more broad sort of example
In
of
the
the
city,
Purge.
yeah.
The third one was the
Scale.
election-centric one where they actually abolished the Purge at the end of it. The fourth one was the prequel. And then this one, right off the bat, just basically says, the new founding fathers have decided to reinstate the Purge.
Yeah.
So the end of the
Sorry.
third one is like, meh.
They got voted back.
Yeah, so... But this one,
Democracy.
while the first Purge was
Democracy.
focused on the more urban story, right, with a largely black cast, this one is focusing much more on the Mexican story within the Purge, specifically something going on in Texas with ranchers and their ranch hands and anything that happens there and then afterwards. So I gotta say, though, I was enjoying the film because one thing about the Purge movies that they've really dialed in is the focus of their story. It's so clear, you know exactly who your characters are and what their motivations are. It doesn't need to be that deep of a movie.
Right.
And you know who everyone is, what they want to do, and you know what they're up against because you know the Purge at this point. So I feel like that was doing this movie favors. I think that they were doing well leaning into that. And then the formula changes a little bit, right? Because normally the Purge is the entire movie. This one, the Purge is over within probably 20 minutes and then it's everything after that. So it's a little bit different, but yeah, I gotta say overall I enjoyed the movie, although not quite as much as one or two of the other entries. What about you, Marcia?
I thought, I definitely had fun in it, and I agree with your sentiment. It wasn't very strong. I would say it was better than the original one. I still hate that one.
Yeah.
I don't like that movie either. I
Yeah.
think it's the weakest of the
was-
series.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't what it needed to be, and then from there they made it for what it should have been to begin with. But I digress. This movie I really enjoyed because I don't know, I had fun with it. It was kind of like going and watching Final Destination for the fifth time. You knew what you were gonna get. You knew you were gonna get some fun kills. You were gonna get some jump scares, and like the story was gonna be good. The production was gonna be good. But you just kind of went with it. You know, it was silly. It was fun. It was entertaining. It just wasn't as solid as the other ones. It wasn't as quick moving. It didn't have as many like trick shots and like creative like traps and like you get during Purge Night. So
I agree with that. I don't feel like it
think-
was as fun when they showed Purge Night. It was way more subdued compared to the other movies.
Right. I mean, they had a couple like good moments here and there, but it was more focused to the characters with the chaos around it, which it was fine, but it definitely was way over top silly.
I will echo some of Marcia's sentiments in the fact that, yes, this was just kind of a by the numbers sort of situation, which is fine. But I enjoyed the not just ethnic, but just the destination differentiation. I guess, I like the fact that it was in a more rural area instead of these like big time urban cities and stuff like that. So that was a very conscientious differentiation and a different decision, which I appreciated. I was more entertained with this, honestly. I'm going to go out on a limb, and I was thinking about this on the drive back. I was more entertained with this than I was the Conjuring sequel and Quiet Place 2. You know? And that's not saying like I was like in like leaps and bounds, beyond both of those, but I really enjoyed this. I was engaged with the characters. I thought the acting was very solid, and the less just violent and more character-centric approach I really appreciated, actually, and it made me more invested, and that's often what happens when you invest in characters as opposed to gore and flash and thrills. But on the other hand, I did kind of miss, especially the third film, Election Day, just really violent. I
did not
missed
have
some of that. They had no moments like in that movie.
The problem is they didn't have any purging characters that were nearly as cool as the little black girl in that one. That was dressed up as the princess or whatever.
And the guy they showed so prominently in the promotional material with the cowboy hat and like the white mask, he's like not even
he's like one of the establishing shots of Purge Night, and that's
nothing else.
That's basically it.
So
he was really cool though.
He looked badass, but they could have done so much more.
I want his outfit. Can I wear it?
I liked how tight the mask
pants
was.
The mask. Okay, sorry.
Oh man, Marcia,
I was thinking of different with tight.
Well, getting into the story of it, so the thing is, maybe we appreciated this more because we're here in Phoenix, Arizona.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're not far away from El Paso, Texas, and wherever it started, where it eventually ended up in El Paso.
And also all the border discussion, which we've had about
100%.
Locking stuff down and building walls and all that other shit.
Very huge, Mexican population here.
Big time. I mean, Fuego for a stupid ass gringo. I'm a hunk for God's sake.
Not only that. I mean, but yeah, we it's a very similar situation here. My family owns ranches, so I literally they had Mexican ranch hands. So I totally could relate to this movie, which is maybe why I was dialed into it so much. But at the same time, it's very heavy-handed with what it's saying. Very especially when you get to the last shot where it zooms all the way out, and it's like.
And also one character's arc. One character's arc starts out one way, and then he's just like he talks Spanish at the end of the movie, and you're just like, okay, come on, guys.
But
no spoilers though.
So yes, the story is about two Mexican immigrants, a man and his wife, who come over, and then they flash forward 10 months, and now we're following their story after having kind of established themselves. She works food
meat
serving,
plant.
meat packing plant, and then he is working as a ranch hand for old white Will Patton, who I really like. That actor, he's been in a ton of stuff. You guys will immediately know him, but
also
most notably
actor,
Armageddon and the Falling Skies TV series.
They're
the younger
both...
actor I've seen in tons of stuff too. His son, I just could not think
he's been in a lot of stuff too. Yeah, I don't know his name either, but it always makes me think Aidan Quinn, but it's not him.
No.
But it always makes me think that.
No.
But nonetheless, it's about these two, and then the Purge Night happens, and we see everyone as they do their thing, and then the Purge Night ends, and the real story begins, because there's apparently factions all over the U.S. that want to be, they're called Ever After Purgers. I'm guessing this was at one point called the Purge Ever After, because that's literally what that sect of people is called. And so there's a group of people that continue the Purge even after the Purge is ending. And so it's basically the same as the other movies in that you're following a group of characters as they're trying to survive the Purge. It's just technically they're trying to survive after the Purge when everyone is still purging.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of it's a tweak on the story.
Yeah.
But
I liked it. Yeah, I did too. I was all about it, man. I enjoyed the fact that they were not retreading a concept. The fact that they were like, okay, this seems feasible. This seems like it would eventually happen with all of the stupid freedom that you would be giving people. And they're like, why wouldn't they purge for only 12 hours?
There's
Why
a particular
wouldn't-
sect of America that's been emboldened in recent years, and I think they were really capitalizing on that sect of America.
And they would also be captivated by this and be like, mobilize!
This is a good idea.
My friend
Let's get our
Amanda,
red hats.
who came tonight, said it perfectly. She said it's just further proof that Americans can't take things in moderation.
Well, to them, no. We do
Not
everything
certain
in
ones, for
excessiveness,
sure.
man.
Not
I
certain
mean, we're
ones.
like a, like me want now sort of mentality.
But it
We
makes
always have
sense
that.
too. Like we do doing purge on the same on purge night. That's been done. Let's get them when it really matters. Let's surprise them and do it the night after. It's
Isn't-
like everybody thinks they're safe now, but they're not. Oh.
Isn't the essence of freedom being able to purge whenever the hell you want? You know, America. I don't know.
Sure, Fuego.
But isn't that just murder again? Are we going back to the murdering whenever we want? Then that was like the whole point of purge night, so that they wouldn't murder whenever they want. Like,
So the story worked for both of you guys then.
Yeah, it was fine.
did.
It was right.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
fine.
It did. This is something I was going to ask though, because I couldn't remember from the previous entries. Were the government officials protected? Because remember
Certain
when-
ones, it always said.
Yeah. Okay. I
It
didn't
always
remember
said certain
if that
government
was-
officials at a certain
okay.
level are immune.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't remember if that.
They
was a thing or
they
not.
only played into it in election year though.
Okay.
That's the only
Yeah,
movie
that
they
makes
actually
sense.
played into
That makes
it.
sense. Okay.
But yeah, and now the acting. This one, I thought everyone did a good job. I thought, the main Mexican guy, I think he was a little too sullen the entire time. Like, there was room for him to crack a smile or two, but he was just pretty much the same the entire time. He
I
was
thought
like
his friend was a little bit better.
like Rooney
honestly.
Mara from
Yeah.
the Nightmare on Elm Street remake, where it's just one face the entire time.
I love Rooney.
But otherwise, I enjoyed everyone else. I actually quite enjoyed. I quite enjoyed the White family because they all played their roles. But what I'm saying is, everyone in the family had a different role to play.
Yeah.
Right.
You had the husband, you had the pregnant wife, you had the sister, and then you had the father. And I like that everyone had an established role, and again, everyone had the character development. And there was even a flashing of a burgeoning romance in the middle of it,
Yeah.
where I was
Yeah.
like, are they really going to do this? I kind of dig that they're trying to, they're
There
dabbling with
definitely
this.
was. There
So,
was like
yeah.
that national like maybe there was always something there, but then like the
Circumstances.
the circumstances and the trauma kind of bringing them together. Like, oh, I see you,
But then it's a Purge movie.
and then
But
Well,
but yeah,
and-
so
and
character-wise,
they all-
though, I'm saying I think everyone did a great job.
Yeah, and they all, and the White family specifically, they all had different distinctions of prejudice or the lack thereof, which I appreciated. And yet there's a very on the nose little monologue from the father, the patriarch, so to speak, about taking of land and so on and
Will
so
Patton.
forth. Yeah, but he was great in this, and the son who. Goddamn, I wish I could remember homie's name.
Goddamn.
He has an interesting arc, albeit a little bit predictable. And then the wife of the immigrant man,
Aida.
She's terrific
Or
in this,
Della,
man.
sorry.
Yeah, and she is a
Yeah,
badass.
Adela.
And when they and they explore her badass roots a little bit, they only hint at it here and there. But I've seen her in a ton of stuff, and I'm trying to remember what else. But I thought she was fantastic, and I. Basically, all of the Latino and Latinx, Chauncey is informing me about how I'm supposed to refer at this particular point. But yeah, I thought, all of the Hispanic actors in this were really badass and really good and sold it. And I loved that angle in this because, the first Purge had the black-centric aspect to it, and this one had the Hispanic aspect to it, which I thought was awesome. I mean, perceive it from a different sort of viewpoint, and I really dug it.
One of the things that I really liked how they portrayed, and it was just, it's kind of a blink and you'll miss it kind of thing, but at one point they involve a group of immigrants that they've come across, and just a little tiny thing that'll be thrown away if you don't realize it. Someone comes up and talks to this matriarch, this older woman, and calls her boss at one point. And it's like they lean into the fact that Hispanic cultures can be very matriarchal, and the mother means a lot. The mother can be the boss and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I like that they threw that stuff in there.
Indeed,
So
indeed.
As
I
it
know that's a
should be,
bit
'cause
back
that is
to
the truth.
the
Moms
movie.
rule it all.
Sure,
You know
of
it.
course, naturally. So let's talk about how
Can I
the
talk
film.
about the
Yeah.
acting?
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. Please give your thoughts.
I liked it. No, I was actually really impressed. Like, especially with a movie like this, you don't really have to have good acting to get through it, but at the same time, like, it helps. And I feel like the casting director did a very good job. I felt like everybody was perfectly cast for this movie, and everybody played their role very well. Nobody took me out of it. I enjoyed every character, and I was invested in each character. On the flip side, I feel like we didn't have a lot of bad guy. Like, we didn't have like a main bad guy to be like mad about.
They tried to kind of force one in the back half of the movie. No,
he wasn't a good fit.
And that's where the film lost some steam, I think.
I think so too.
Unfortunately.
So I would say the bad guys kind of sucked, but I don't know if it's because the good guys like were awesome and we were invested in them, but we weren't invested in the villains, and that kind of kills it.
They're almost more intimidating as the Gestapo sort of thing when you don't see them. You just see their caravans riding along the street with their prisoners and their big buses and stuff like that. Like, that's when they're more intimidating. But when you actually start to interact with them in the movie, they're like...
You're like, okay, I'm
there's
put a
no one
bullet
that really
in you
stands
now.
out.
You know,
you need someone like, you need your Dennis Leary from Judgment Night or whatever. You know, the guy
reaching deep, dude. And Emilio Estevez.
Right.
Yeah.
You need a charismatic bad guy leader that can be there the whole movie. That was lacking. I do agree.
Just like you said, in the second Purge movie, you had the girl in the dress and the mask. Like, she was badass, and she, like, you heard her coming, and you were like, all right, here we go, we got it going. And then she was entertaining, and she's fun to watch, and it was fun to watch her work. Nobody in here, you just want them all to die. So
I still feel like the series in 2 and 3 got cheesier and a little hammier, and in this entry and then the first Purge, you know, the one right before it, I feel like they've taken it a little bit more seriously, which I do appreciate. Which the dire scenario that we are staring down here.
I still like them going through the city.
The thing is, there was in the last 2 movies, there haven't been the stand-up and cheer moment that admittedly the third movie had when that girl got her comeuppance. Everyone freaking cheered.
You're right.
So like that is missing. We gotta say, in the last 2 entries, taking it more seriously does eliminate those kinds of moments.
It's a juggling act in that estimation.
Yeah, it's like they're taking away the jokes from Freddy and trying to put the genie back in the bottle, you know, and make him scary again.
No, word, you're right.
You know what I mean? That kind of thing. So, Marcia, let's get your thoughts first then on the actual filmmaking. How did you think it was presented? Did you like the shots? Did you like everything like that? Because I had an issue with something, and I'm curious if you guys picked up on it without me saying it.
I probably did not, because you are of the editing director mind. But from the untrained eye, I would say that, I don't know, I liked it. I thought it was beautifully shot. I thought that the set design was well done. And it wasn't extremely interesting to watch. There wasn't any, like, crazy, like, scenes that I can, like, recall going, oh man, that was a really cool, like,
innovative shot.
Yeah, innovative shot, or editing, or like, or like maybe a long shot to a kill, or, you know,
pretty by the numbers.
It was pretty by the numbers, and then there's like, and then there was an instance with like a goat trap that I thought Tyrannosaurus Rex was gonna come out, because that's the last time I saw one of those goat traps exist.
Well, and that was in every trailer that they put out.
Oh, was it? I'm like,
and they also hyped up that it was gonna have like saw-like traps from
because that one, it literally was that one.
It was that one. Okay, I didn't really watch.
Disgusting.
I didn't watch any of the trailers, so I didn't know. But
I think there was only one, honestly, one main trailer.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I didn't watch it, and so when I saw, I was like, oh man, is there T-Rex around here? Like, this is gonna be cool.
Oh, I get it now. Okay.
Yeah.
He was gonna throw a goat leg on a SUV somewhere.
Come on, right? And then it wasn't that. But other than that, it wasn't really that creative, I thought, overall.
Fuego, what about you?
Yeah, it didn't blow me away, dude. Although I'm just a sucker for really pretty drone shots, and there is a lot of great overhead stuff, especially when we're veering to El Paso.
Wait till you watch Gaia.
You know,
starts off with some badass drone stuff.
Yeah. I'm a sucker for that sort of stuff, and I would assume that this was probably filmed in New Mexico and not Texas, because that's what always happens, you know, based on the tax breaks and stuff like that. But I mean, all of the rock formations and stuff as they get and as they're getting away from the city, the action I don't know how well it was shot, though.
There you go. You're hitting on exactly what I was going to say.
Kind of what I was.
It was
feeling.
a fucking mess.
Yeah.
The action was a mess.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
It was
Please proceed.
it was blurry and
The editing was a
And
fucking mess. You
lots of
couldn't
quick
track what was
cuts.
going
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
No masters at all.
Yeah.
Like no master shots where you actually capture the whole fight from a master shot, so you can cut in to the close-ups where you need to, but you always can track what's actually going on with the fight.
Thank you,
None
Paul
of that.
Greengrass,
None of
for
that.
sort of
Yeah,
situation.
but it's
Yeah.
the shittiest version of that. It is just shaky cam and cutting to angles where you can't track what's actually going on in a lot of the action pieces
just
in this.
mostly just audio of gunfire.
Yeah,
bombs.
audio
it's
and
supposed to feel
like,
like
you know,
jerky-
couple of blood squirts that are digital and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But
jerky, hyper energetic.
you literally can't tell what's going on until after it, when they like do the reveal shot and you see who's left standing, and it's like, wait, that's not how this should be.
No,
you know what I mean?
You should be able to see.
Yeah, you
what's
should
going
be able
on.
to track what's actually going on. So I thought the action was a fucking mess. The movie itself was presented fine, but yeah, like Marcia said, it's just paint by numbers. It wasn't anything special, nothing to write home about, and
that's where
the action
story
was just a
and
fucking mess.
and that's where the story and the acting are shockingly. I mean, because
What saved this movie?
So many other Purge movies are all about the action, especially 2 and 3,
And the gore.
We're all about
They're
the
all
action.
about action
But
and
I
gore.
think
This
you
is
did-
more about story and characters.
I think you probably you hit what I've been trying to figure out. Like I'm like, why was this one so different? And I think that's what it was. It's just like you just didn't get a lot of like what the Purge is about, and then, well, you go to watch it to see the kills, and we didn't get a lot of
shock
Right.
value.
Yeah, it's so maybe this is the best way to put it, just getting into the effects since we're already there. The kills in this one are much closer to the kills in a John Wick movie than a kills in a horror movie.
Yeah, it felt like an action movie.
Yeah.
So
it's a
much
lot
more
of
so.
headshots and, you know, like stuff like that. Lots of
And they've
quick,
straddled
quick,
that line
you know,
for a while.
Even like quick hatchet things, you know, like just quick blood spurts and stuff like that. It is not Purge-ish, you know. And maybe I need to rewatch the other Purge movies with that idea in my head.
I think
but
2 and 3 turned into straight up action movies, and we've talked about that before.
Yeah.
I mean,
You
there
know,
is a lot of that, but there is also a lot of like redeeming like ones in there where like, and I keep saying it's like I like them for the traps. Like people would set up traps, and like people would like be stumbling in it, or like a good, you know, and just some really creative like moments that would come up. Like people are like, man, I've been thinking about this all year long, and I'm ready for this Purge. And then this is just like, we're just gonna line them up and shoot them.
And that's another thing, you know, in 2 and 3 especially, there was that whole deception aspect where people were like turning on each other because they wanted to purge. We don't really have anything like that in this. And I just watched Meet the Blacks the other day where they were spoofing the Purge, and so
they have the
it's
second one coming out this year.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's why I watched it actually. And so there is that whole deception and you know, turning on people, Judas Iscariot sort of shit that you get in those middle Purge films. I guess they've abandoned that sort of narrative, you know, where, you know, people are just like,
I don't think
waiting
they should
to turn on each other.
Dude, I think the Purge
I
can
like
live
those
on in
twists,
perpetuity.
personally.
I think they should just give a new Purge movie to a new director every single year. Don't tie them together in any way. Make it an anthological annual horror movie where, like, I want to see the Purge Lone Wolf, where it's just about a guy that spends all year preparing for the
That's
Purge.
actually really cool.
So he then goes out and just takes out Purgers.
Pitch,
You know, and then what happens to that guy through the night?
Yeah.
Like, I want to see the Purge save the USA, where it's about Americans taking up arms against the Purgers to try and save what's going on.
Which
Which
I
they
think is
kind
what they're
of-
gonna go to.
yeah.
Right, that's what I'm
kind of
saying.
after
That's where it
this film.
seems like a little bit where they're going. You know, like, there's a lot of different ideas that still. And here's what I'm saying. I was thinking to myself while watching. I'm like, why am I so enjoying this so much? Yes, it's good acting. It's a solid enough story. But we've seen this story in that one where the Mexicans get kidnapped and hidden in the bunker, right? And we saw a very in that festival movie that we saw, you know. But I was like, what makes it interesting is the Purge backdrop.
Yeah.
The Purge backdrop lets you have so many different interesting stories.
What about the yard workers at the?
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Yeah.
What if they flipped
I forget the title.
the script and instead of like us following a group of people to survive, why don't they like follow a bunch of purgers who are purging those victims and stuff?
Give us a Ready or Not type movie set in the Purge, where it's a bunch of purgers and a lot of them are dumb and they get themselves killed.
That would be funny too.
And like maybe they zero in on one final person and it becomes like Tucker and Dale. Right, where they just accidentally keep getting killed off, or there's so much. Give us a horror comedy Purge.
Yeah. Especially with how despondent the tone has been in some of these films. Like that's where a TV series. I haven't watched the 2 seasons, so I can't really comment on that. But if you did it full on anthology status, like Cecil was just recommending,
an hour
I think that
each,
would really make sense.
I don't think we'd be getting the series did so bad that I don't think they'll be revisiting a TV series anytime soon.
But yeah, this.
I'm just saying, there's ideas enough. Where, like the fact that they were thinking this was going to be the last for a while, and literally a few days before the movie came out, the director's like, there might be more. There damn well should be, because there's a lot of good stories. You can tell it just doesn't need to be an extension of any of what we've already had.
It's a viable, interesting
It's a big
IP.
world.
Yeah.
It's a big universe, and there's a lot, and like this one told us. I mean, it's not just in the cities. It's having this effect. It's everywhere. So, I like you said, it's good that it did go rural, but I think they could have gone a step further and get away from the political aspect of it.
Yeah.
Like, okay, let's get done with the political aspect and the social
We
aspect.
understand there's political and social overtones.
Yeah,
we
but
get
let's
it.
focus on story.
Yeah.
Let's get around it and just go for the fun and the gore. Let's just get back into that.
It is kind of a hallmark of the series, though, right? I mean, maybe not to be overtly political like Election Day was, but social commentary is kind of inherent throughout all of the installments of this franchise.
Let's
do another one. Give me another Purge movie called The Purge Oasis, where it's essentially this giant compound
How about
that's
it's
supposed to
Hawaii?
be. Well, no, I'm just saying there's this giant compound where people flock to, like rich people go because it's supposed to be safe during Purge night, and then people infiltrate and fucking purge everyone inside the place. Like it's just that one place's story.
And it's on
like,
Hawaii.
So, sure, it's on Hawaii.
Because he said Oasis.
Oasis. I was more thinking, other thing like along the line of John Wick's Club, right? Where you can't do anything, but
I
then
still hope they make that into a series like they've been talking about. But
anyway, so
let's go to Vegas. What is Vegas doing during the Purge?
Right?
God,
yeah, I mean, geez.
Yeah, because they've done New York City. They've
How do you
done,
lock down
like,
all
the
that
suburbs,
stuff? Yeah.
They've done,
You don't.
I'll bet it'd be the hot spot.
I would say
don't.
that would be
What
budget.
What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
That'd be fun too.
Even you.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, whoever slays in Vegas, well, whoever they slay stays in Vegas.
Whoever stays in Vegas slays in Vegas.
Ah.
All right, guys. Well,
Cool.
I think that's as much as we need to say about this one. We, believe it or not, we didn't really spoil anything. So,
But I did enjoy it.
yeah,
I liked it.
Overall,
Dude,
it was,
I liked
I
this
enjoyed
movie.
it too. Yeah. There you go. 3 enjoys. Is it worth them going to the theater for?
Yes.
Okay.
I
did not watch any.
Matinee price.
Matinee over July 4th weekend. Get all patriotic and patriotic and festive.
I'm a big fan of go if you can go.
If I were you,
if
I were you and I wanted to go to the theater, I would choose to see Werewolves Within instead of this.
Well, that's in very limited release, and
Okay.
also VOD tomorrow.
Okay, fair enough. Just saying. But yeah, it's at least worth your time, no matter when and where you watch it. Give it a try. I think you'll enjoy it. So. If you guys enjoyed this video, click the like button and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to all of our patrons for supporting the channel the way you do. We greatly, greatly appreciate it. Stay tuned, you guys, because this Sunday, the 4th of July, we're going to be celebrating by putting up our 3rd part of our horror franchise tier list ranking. So 20 new horror franchises we are going to be ranking along the 40 that we've already ranked. That is coming this Sunday, while we are going to be at Mad Monster filming a few things that will be presented not long after that.
Yeah, so if you're in the Phoenix metropolitan area, Glendale, Arizona, just right by
Westgate.
Westgate, exactly.
Yeah, come see Mad
Stadium.
Monster and come introduce yourselves to us. So thank you guys so much for watching. I've been Cecil Laird.
Marshburger.
Gracias. Fuego.
And remember, stay scared.